What's up, YouTube? It's Lieutenant Wiggles here, back with another video with special guest, of course, Second Lieutenant Blood. And today's video, of course, is going to be, as the thumbnail implies, Road to Damascus. Today's Damascus video will be kind of the same thing we did with the ARs, which will be just a breakdown of the loadouts that I used to help grind these guns out to platinum the fastest. Hopefully it's really nice. It helps you out if you're struggling with any of the particular guns, especially like one like the Pharaoh. I know that one, because of the burst, might seem like a pain in the ass. Same with the Chickum, but with these loadouts that I have, I'm going to show you, it does help quite a bit. With that being said, please drop a like and subscribe. Help us on our goal to 100 plus subscribers. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into the first gun. And of course, that's the RUS 74U. Now, everybody's got their own style loadout, but this was the loadout that worked for me, as you can see on the screen. We're going to go kind of quick in today's video. I'll stop and talk on a couple guns, but other than that, we're just going to roll through these pretty fast. Now, the Chickum is going to be the one, with the 3-round burst. This gun is actually not horribly bad, but the biggest thing with this gun, because of its iron sights, honestly, I really recommend running a red dot. And if you're having issues with hip fire, honestly, just run the 5 milliwatt laser. Because it has that extra sprint to aim speed, it does help if you're running like with the marksman and the granulated, so it will keep your shots pretty consistent. But at the same time, you're going to be able to flip back and forth between hip fire and ADS. Now, the next one's going to be the PDW. Now, the PDW, I don't have the platinum skin on just because, well, I have a really nice skin and I'm not going to switch it. So this is going to be the loadout for the PDW. Now, I know the PDW is kind of, some people are really good with it, some people aren't. This one was kind of a pain in the ass for me, myself. Now, you really don't need the red dot on this. Honestly, I would say instead of the red dot, run sleight of hand. But at the same time, the iron sights can be a little bit of a pain, especially when you're trying to get those headshots. So the red dots really do help. The next one is the Razorback. This one, honestly, they've got the rapid fire attachment coming to this gun, and it will make it a little bit, I feel like, maybe easier when it comes to like hip fire and stuff. But honestly, this thing is I would honestly say this thing is probably the closest to like the M4 with the style of recoil it has. This thing literally took me like 30 minutes to knock out. I mean, it was maybe like an hour. But this thing went really fast. This was the loadout. I ran with it. Definitely want to run the extended mag with that gun because you will burn through ammo pretty fast. Now, the MSMC is going to be one for some people that might be a little difficult because of the high rate of fire and a little bit of the recoil. But honestly, definitely slap on that 5 milliwatt laser and the marksman with the foregrip. You're definitely going to want to run. Now, I know you might want to run the 36 round extended mag because it has more ammo. But honestly, the 30 round, I think, is because you're going to be reloading quite a bit with this thing. But like with the monolithic and the marksman with the operator foregrip, it will help you control that recoil so you can kind of more zone in on those headshots. Now, the HD40 was kind of an interesting one. Here it is. This is the actual loadout I had for it. So the HD40 was kind of interesting because of the nerf that happened a while back. I hadn't used it in a while, so I kind of forgot all about this gun until I was grinding out these camos. And this thing might irritate you a tad. I know it kind of got me a little riled up a little bit, but honestly, this is the loadout I ran with it. You're definitely going to want to run that fast mag because you're going to feel like you're shooting marshmallows. But it wasn't too bad. Now, the Pharaoh is going to be the one. Now, this one, with that 4-round burst and the way the recoil, because it has some horizontal and it has a good, strong horizontal recoil kick, which is kind of harder to control than the vertical. Honestly, you're going to sacrifice some ADS speed with this exact loadout, but I kid you not, run the light compensator, marksman barrel, tac foregrip, 36-round fast reload, and that 5 milliwatt laser makes this thing a beast when you're hip firing. If they're within about 8 meters or so, this thing will one-tap people. I mean, it is it actually kind of threw me off. I was expecting to kind of struggle with this gun a little bit, trying to get the headshots and stuff because of how the recoil is. Honestly, when I kind of tweaked this thing around and got it to this exact loadout, this thing was actually flowed really, really fast.
Your mic's just fucking up.
All right, the next gun is the GKS. Now, the GKS, if you haven't used this gun, honestly, I really think you should be using this gun. I've seen a lot of people running around with it, and I just haven't. You know, I used to use it a lot. Now, then it kind of fell by the wayside. But this thing is a straight up laser beam. Now, this is the loadout I ran with it. Now, the hip fire is kind of a pain in the ass with this gun. Even with the 5 milliwatt laser, I'm sure maybe adjusting the barrel, probably not really, because none of them really help with the hip fire. I'm sure there's a muzzle that would have helped, but overall, like the headshots I was done with the headshots before I was done with the hip fires. This thing is a straight up laser beam, has very little recoil. It's super easy to control, and it does hit pretty hard. Now the cordite's a little different. This one was a little bit more of a pain in the ass than I originally thought. Now the actual loadout I was using was going to be on, of course, the anime gun, Cherry Blossom. Now I was kind of messing around with this. This thing felt a lot heavier than I remember it being. You know how you're using certain guns and you go to ADS or run around and you just feel slow? That's kind of how I was feeling with this gun. But because it's still a cordite, it does have really, really good hip fire. And with the MIP extended light barrel, it's going to help you kind of aim in or maintain that ADS accuracy when you're going for those headshots, which will be really nice once you're done with it. And of course, the QQ9. Now, the QQ9 honestly is going to be one of those guns where either you're really good with it or you're going to be kind of iffy. I'm definitely in the iffy category, especially if you're running the 10 millimeter ammo. Like here, honestly, if you're working on hip fire shots, I definitely recommend running the 45 round extended mag, because with the 10 millimeter, you're going to be reloading like every single kill. And even with the MIP 5 milliwatt laser for the hip fire, so what I would do is I'll take off the foregrip and slap that laser on instead. There it is. Actually, I realize give me 1 second, guys. I realized I didn't have this quite set up the way I was using it. So this is actually the setup I was using for the QQ9. That the hip fire is kind of a pain in the ass with this gun, but it's definitely doable. You just got to be up pretty close with them. So look, best of luck with you guys. At least with these guns, I mean, they actually shoot. You're not, having to do follow-up shots like some of the snipers or the shotguns. Definitely, if you are working on your Damascus grind right now and you're struggling with the shotguns, Hardcore is coming out as of the 12th, so it should be tomorrow, or at least by the time of the recording of this video. Definitely grind your shotguns in Hardcore, because one of the biggest pains of the asses, at least for me, is the long shots, especially with the guns like the HS-21. Honestly, I'm not going to do any gameplay of shotguns. It's going to be, look, good luck. They're going to be frustrating. They're going to piss you off. I know they're going to drive me up a wall. But with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember to breathe, remember to smile. It's just a game. Latest.